So my name is Indranil, and I'm representing a brand called Seqrite, and it's an enterprise brand of Quick Hill technology. How many of you have heard about the name Quick Hill? All of you have? Okay, that needs a round of applause, right? That all of you heard about Quick Hill, right? I just wanted to take a couple of minutes to introduce Seqrite. As I said, it's a enterprise brand of Quick Hill, and we have been here as a Quick Hill as an organization. We have been here for more than 30 years now. This is not more than, we have been completing 30 years, a correction here. So for 30 years, we have been protecting devices, right? Be it desktop, laptop. It started as an antivirus company, and we have evolved in this 30 years. And for last 8 years, our focus, while we still into this B2C, which is a Quick Hill antivirus. आपके PC में है कौन? Quick Hill, right? But we have evolved as an antivirus. We have evolved as an enterprise brand, right? And while I will talk about that, and I will talk about some of the challenges which most of you as a banker are facing today, and also the guidelines given by RBI, right? I will talk about that, and I will talk about how we are addressing those challenges. I already talked about Seqrite, right? It's 100% Make in India, Atmanirbhar Bharat. Our entire engineering, development, our product management, quality assurance, everything is based out of India. And we are one of the first cybersecurity company who is registered with Indian Stock Exchange, BSE and NSE. A cybersecurity product company, right? Which gives a confidence to our customer that we are not here, we are here for a longer term, right? And while we are a Make in India company, we have our presence in 70 plus odd countries globally, with more than 1,000 plus cybersecurity experts sitting out of India. And we have more than 9 million devices we are protecting day in and day out. Just imagine the kind of telemetry data we have, right? And we are actively participating in basically some of the intel which we are providing time to time to Government of India. I have already talked about that we are 30 years old organizations, right? 3 decades here. And what we are doing as an enterprise is basically we are providing a comprehensive solutions, right? To address the cybersecurity challenges for our customers. We have more than 35,000 customers in India. Just imagine the kind of customers base we have. Also, of course, we have a very strong support. We have, you can reach out to our support through various mechanisms, right? And we have one of the largest cybersecurity lab. We call it Seqrite Lab, based out of India. Once again, these are some of the innovations of us. We have already got 9 patents in anti-ransomware and anti-malware detection technologies. We use, so one of the topic today is, what I understand is AI, right? We have been using AI for our threat detection for quite some time now. We are also listed with NIST AISIC, which is a US-based bodies for data privacy projects. And today, if you see, well, I will talk about some of the solutions which actually going to solve some of your problems, cybersecurity challenges. We delivered that in a single chassis, right? Simplified single chassis. I will double down on that and I will tell you what that means. We are also building up Gen AI. Already we have SIA, which we have launched with our XDR, right? But we are bringing this Gen AI capability with our other solutions as well. We have a unified platform, right? Zero trust platform. And through that platform, we are delivering multiple tools to solve your problem. In fact, if you see today, there are proactive zero-day vulnerability, which we have been detecting for quite some time, right? This is what about Seqrite Quick Hill, right? But if I have to talk about some of the challenges which today, as a cooperative bank, you are facing, is one of the challenges poor access control, poor access control, right? That means what? That means you don't have the latest technology tools, right? To basically enhance your access control, right? And that is one of the guidelines for RBI. Inadequate policies and procedures. One of the big challenges, some of the banks are still using the legacy systems. You are still using the legacy systems, right? And of course, the challenge is how you can improvise on that. Then comes your poor threat detection and response technologies, right? There are advanced threat today, and you don't have most of the banks, and in particularly, I'm talking about the cooperative segment, right? You don't have the enough technology to actually address those kind of advanced threats. And then, as I said, the limited IT resources, the experts, the tools, right? And if you see the kind of threat landscape for last few years, one of the major challenge, and that is the concern for most of the cooperative banks, is the volume of cyber attack. In fact, it has increased by 40% from 2024. And as I speak, it is even higher. I'm talking about Q1 of 2025, but if we speak now, it is even higher. And I talked about access control, right? Because of this inadequate access control, there are 13 lakhs cyber attacks which has happened in 2023. And as we speak, it is more than, it is actually close to around 17 lakhs today. And every year it is increasing by a substantial percentage. Then comes your high rate of data breach. If you talk about last 5 years, there are 248 data breaches which has happened in last 5 years. And then the regulatory compliance. RBI has penalized more than 264 banks in 2025 itself. And these are the genuine challenge for the cooperative banks like you, right? Now, what RBI is talking about, in terms of, if you see the security guidelines, I don't have to talk about this much because I'm sure most of you are aware of. They're talking about how you can control your users, how you can give the right access to the right users of the applications, of the network, right? How you can actually increase your authentication framework, environmental control, right? Some of these are key guidelines from RBI to address the cyber attacks or threats what you are going through now, right? One of the major challenge today is the data leakage. And there are guidelines, regulations around the data leakage, which is one of the major challenges today. Then audit logs. That is another big challenges. I'm just picking up few of these pointers because most of you know this. What I'm trying to tell you here is, these are the genuine problem statement for cooperative banks like you, right? Now, what we can do against this? See, we talked about access control. So through our Seqrite Zero Trust Network Access, you can actually control, you can basically authorize only those who are rightful users for a particular applications. You can do a network as well as a security management. You can actually control the environment. I think some of these guidelines which I mentioned in my previous slide, right? So those are the key challenges which we can address through our Zero Trust Network Access. Through Seqrite Endpoint Protections, EPP, one of the key area I talked about data leakage. We have a solutions which is bundled with our EPP through which we can actually address the data leakage. It prevents your data leakage, right? Anti-phishing. In fact, RBI talks about antivirus and patch management. We can address this problem for you. Backup and restore, which is one of the major pointers. We can solve this through our EPP-like solutions, right? And with our XDR, EDR, we can address your audit logs. You can actually protect from the advanced level threat, right? You can do the incident response and management. You can do a cyber intrusions. Then you can secure your configurations through XDR. So you get a visibility on the advanced level threats which is there in your network, right? And then with the DPDPA coming in, I don't know how many of you know about DPDPA. It's a much talk subject today, right? Through our data privacy, we have a complete stack starting from your data discovery, classification, rights management, then your cookie consent, consent management. So today, by virtue of this bill, now the final rules are yet to come. The draft rules are already there, through which the data principles, which is basically the actual users, they can protect or they can actually come to you and ask for where their PII data and how you are being utilizing those PII data. And they have the rights to actually come and basically ask you to delete this, unless and until there is a regulatory compliance, where, for example, somewhere the compliance says that you need to keep your customer data for 7 years or 10 years. But then, in that case also, because of the compliance, you can keep it in your repository, but you cannot use those informations. Those are personal informations, like the name. Attached to that name is your Aadhaar card, PAN card. It can be your telephone number, right? So as a bank, when you onboard your customers, you collect all this information, because as a part of your KYC, you collect all these informations, date of birth. But these are the very personal informations of an individual, which is data principal. And they, by virtue of this bill, the data principal got a right to come and ask for how you are utilizing those data, those informations. So through our data privacy solutions, we can actually address that problem. And it gives it's a platform. So it starts with discovery, classification, your governance, cookie consent, consent management, breach management. So once there is a breach happens, as per the draft guidelines, within 6 hours, you need to intimate to the data principals, right? And then you have to also intimate that about the breach to the board, which is information now. Or otherwise, there is a penalty for as high as 250 crores. So through this solutions, through this platform, you can actually intimate your data principals about the breach, as also to the board. I think I talked about ZTNA. I think there is some time check, so I will quickly run on this. This is one of the solutions which, if you talk about the financial report which RBI has published in 2025, which talks about the foundation of the risk-based segregations of your network, and also the access to be given to the rightful users, right? Through these solutions, you can do the posture management, you can actually control the vendors who are not onboarded on your network, but they brings their own IT assets, right? You can do a posture management, posture check, and then you can allow them. You can actually, the users who are authorized to use a particular applications, you can actually, through these solutions, you can actually give them that privilege to use only that particular application. So for example, today, if you're, let's say, HR as a functions should only access HR-related applications, maybe not related to anything which is finance-related applications, right? So that you can do. And then, of course, because of the capability of layer 7 firewall, DDoS policies, and WAF can be mentioned, rules can be mentioned, visibility and analytics are there. I'm happy to tell you that we are partnering, we are the partner of IDRBT, and I don't know how many of you know that IDRBT has launched IBCAT 3.0. With that, these are some of the critical threat intel we are taking care of. Cybersecurity risk management, your identity vulnerability, your affordable cybersecurity policies management, right? Timely detection and response, supervised reporting and compliance. These are the basic need of any of the banks, right, today. And through this, we are solving, and this solutions is implemented already in some of the cooperative banks. I will quickly run through two use cases, or two case studies. This is one of the bank where one of the major challenge was basically they don't have the visibility on the threats which is happening in their network, the advanced level threat, right? And with our EDR, we have actually solved that challenge, which is also as per the guidelines of RBI. And today, customer is benefited with the compliances, customer is benefited with the real-time threat detections and response, right? Operational efficiency has increased because of this. There is one more case study where there was a challenge that customer was using VPN, and as you all know that once you are on a VPN, an attacker can go into a lateral movement. They can go to any applications, right? Through these solutions, basically, we have controlled that. The access is given to only the rightful users. And because of this, if you see today, the bank has control and have a complete visibility of the users who are coming into their network and accessing the particular applications. Also, there are vendors who are coming into the network because of the vulnerability check. The reduce of threat, it has reduced the threat within the network. Just to sum up, this is what the solution stack, and the core is basically our Seqrite lab. With that, I talked about endpoint security, where we address your challenges about the devices, challenges on your mobile, right? Be it your company provided devices or bits your employees' own devices. Zero Trust Network I talked about. All these things can be delivered if it is a cloud delivered. All these solutions are delivered except the ZTNA we delivered on-prem as well as from the cloud. And if it is delivered from the cloud, you have a single visibility. You can manage the policies in one single plane. With this, any questions if you have, I can take this question. We have a booth here. And I will be happy to answer any of your queries there, right? And thank you for giving me this opportunity, this platform to take you through the solutions what we have and how we can address some of your challenges today. Thank you.